Hey everybody, how are you? A lot of people have been asking about our Paleo fudge that we make and we rave about at BMS Fit, and we've made it over the last few years. So I'm going to take you through a real quick setup for making it. It's very healthy for you. It's comprised of coconut oil, we have raw almond oil, we have honey, unpasteurized honey. We're going to use everything that we use. We're going to try and use organic components. Unsweetened organic coconut, shredded coconut, some chocolate. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a combination of a blonde chocolate fudge. Very delicious. I'm going to give you the proportions. We're going to try and roll through this. It's a one-shot deal here. But what I will do as well is subscribe to the channel for sure. The recipe will be down below, and hopefully you'll enjoy this. So what it consists of is 1 cup of coconut oil. The key to this is we're fortunate enough that it's the middle of August here in Canada, and it's nice and warm, so we don't have to melt it. But what you can do to melt it is take a pot or take a Pyrex container, cupful, take some water, put it in a pot, bring it to a gentle boil, and then put it in and just let it heat it up until it's in its liquid state. It's a whole lot tougher to deal with and whisk when it is in its hardest state. So we add a cup of coconut oil. All right. Then we take and we add a cup of raw, smooth, not crunchy. I guess you could have crunchy if you really had a taste for it. Smooth almond butter, pretty thick and rich. You want to make sure that you get every little bit of it, scraping it out. And you know, with regards to the honey, again, really strongly suggest that you use unpasteurized honey. Not just any honey will do from a standpoint of healthy. It's nice if you can get something local. For those of you that live in urban areas, again, places like Farm Boy here in Canada or Whole Foods down in the United States will always have something available to you in terms of all the organic components. So what we're going to do then is we're going to also add 1/3 cup of organic, unsweetened coconut, just to give it a little bit of texture. 1/3 cup. And this is where we can go plus or minus depending on your taste buds. All right, I've got 1/3 here. Sometimes I have a tendency to go a little bit lighter just because it is pretty sweet. It's pretty rich. And we pour that in. And again, where's my little scoop? Get it all out because we don't want to waste the stuff. It's precious. It's tasty. A lot of bees put a lot of time and effort to getting this back to the hive. Good. And so that's basically, and we add, I'm sorry, one more thing. We're going to, just for a little bit of added flavor, we're going to add about 1/8 of a spoon of organic, I think maybe I overstepped it, so I'm just going to put about 1/2 of that in, of organic vanilla. Okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to take, and I'm going to use well, first of all, I'll get it kind of substantial in terms of mixed in together, and we'll take a whisk. So what we're going to create is a 2-tone fudge. Here you're going to see, and I'll get this out of the way for you so you can see from the profile. I'm creating kind of a blonde because the predominant thing here is the color of the coconut, the raw coconut. We're mixing it in, we mix it in, and you know what? The consistency is pretty darn good to the point where I may not really have to do a whole heck of a lot of whisking. And this stuff is great. One of the things you have to understand while I'm doing this, so we're getting some information in here too, is once I'm done, I'm going to pour it into a pie plate. You can use aluminum foil. It has a tendency, the foil, even though I don't like the idea of creating excess waste and garbage, even though this is recyclable, but with the foil, you're able to get the fudge away from the surface. With a Pyrex or a glass plate, it's a little bit more challenging, so it may chip. So what you may do is line the inside of the plate with a bit of the coconut oil before you actually put it in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take, we've got about 2 3/4 cups of fluid here. So I'm going to guesstimate. Let me just do a quick. So I break all the large pieces up. And you know what? We're pretty good with this. We're pretty good here. Nice and smooth. And I'm going to take and I'm going to pour it into the pie plate. And I'm going to use, and again, you want more chocolate than blonde or vice versa. It's not an exacting science. It's a question of taste. So I'm going to put the blonde portion in. Now here's the key. Obviously, this fudge is not going to be something any of your children are going to take to school because first of all, it's nut-based. The other thing is, it's stored in the fridge. So I'm going to take this and put it in the freezer. I'll be right back. So I'm going to put the blonde portion in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes so it gets really good and solid. And whilst we're doing that, I have Organic Coco. What's called for is approximately 4 tablespoons. I'm a little bit leery of that, so we've got about 2.5 to almost 3 tablespoons. And you know, this stuff's pretty dry, so I'm sprinkling it in about 1/2 portion, and then again the same thing. So this is going to be our chocolate. We have blonde, we have chocolate now, and this stuff is a little bit more challenging to get mixed in, but we want it to be nice and dark. It's delicious. So getting back to the fact that you're going to store it in the fridge. We freeze the bottom portion. Once it's been in for about 10 or 15 minutes, let's see, we've got our chocolate starting to be a little more consistent. Then we take and we pour, we're going to pour, and I'll show you the finished product. We're going to pour the chocolate on top, put it back in the fridge for about another 15 minutes. So both consistence, like the blonde and the chocolate, are set up and we're good to go. You can cut into small pieces. The big thing is it's very rich. It's really calorie dense. Mind you, you've got good fats in there, you've got proteins, your carbohydrate base in terms of the actual honey. It's quite sweet, so you don't want to be eating this whole thing over the period of 1 or 2 days. Not a real good suggestion, and it doesn't take a lot. A couple slivers and your need or your taste for the sweetness of that dessert is satiated. Let me just get a whisk here. And what we'll do is we'll let this sit and we'll come back in a few minutes, pour this on, we'll give you another quick break and you'll see the finished product. Okay, and so we're back. Take a break. About 10 minutes actually. Nicely frozen, nicely firm, got a good constitution to it. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to pour the chocolate layer on it. All of it, all of it, all of it, all of it. Don't want to waste any of it because it is quite precious. We're talking, it's not an inexpensive dessert to begin with. You know what? You're talking a cup of organic coconut oil, cup of raw almond butter, all the ingredients, all said and done. You're probably talking about 15 bucks. So there we have it. Okay? We'll be back in another 15. Oh, we're back. Okay. About 20-25 minutes, we're done. Looks a bit like the surface of the moon, no question, but it tastes a whole lot better than it looks. Again, notice how we've got the blonde and the chocolate. You can change the proportions. I'll take a look below. We're going to have the recipe for you and how to make it. I've got a little piece here. By the way, don't forget to subscribe below for the recipe and for future LiveFit information. Remember, our 7 steps to living fit are an integral part of being healthy, and it's not just about exercise and what you eat. It's about lifestyle. So subscribe, look for us soon. We're going to have a new online presence coming in the near future for everybody. Magnifico. All right, thanks guys. Don't forget to subscribe.